What's up, guys, and welcome to the first ever Seahawks post-game show. Now, today was the 3rd of January. We had the Seattle Seahawks lining up against the San Francisco 49ers with playoff implications. Kind of. So, the Seahawks could have gotten the first seed if the Packers and the Saints both won their matchups. Unfortunately for the Seahawks, that didn't happen. So, the Seahawks, in their game against the 49ers, I'm not going to lie to you guys, the first three quarters were downright sloppy on the offensive side of the ball. They just couldn't seem to get into a good rhythm. Russell seemed off. The offensive line didn't seem to be on the same page, but I don't know. It's a weird because you're thinking they should be in a playoff mode, but they're not. And one of the things that I noticed watching the game, and I know that some of the people around me watching the game noticed, was the weird route combinations that they'd run on 3rd and long versus 3rd and short. It seems like, and I know throughout the whole year, watching 95% of the Seahawks games, Russell Wilson loves the deep ball on 3rd and short. I've never really understood it because, I mean, you might as well just pick up the 3rd down. If it's a 3rd and 2 and you throw a 30-yard bomb to Tyler Lockett, I mean, I understand what you're trying to do if you see a one-on-one coverage or a matchup you like, but at the same time, you're just thinking, we have a pretty reliable offense if you just march down the field slowly and just gain the yards. But, I mean, I never understood that. And also, especially in the first quarter, I noticed that when it would be a 3rd and long, like I think there was one route where they ran it was like the first or second series of the game, they ran a slant with DK on 3rd and 11 with a 7-yard slant. And he didn't catch the ball because Russell threw it behind him, but it was an interesting route combination. You'd think you have DK, he's big and strong and fast. You'd think have him run a go route or a deep slant that might have, once he catches the ball, he doesn't have to run over 3 people to be able to get to the first down. I don't know. That's just what I saw. It's my opinion. Also, one thing that has really improved from the beginning of this year is the defense. Granted, it didn't play well the entire game. There was some really obvious moves and mishaps with, I know Shaquille Griffin got burnt by a 49er running on the right side of the field all the way. I think it was like a 30 or 40-yard catch, which was kind of bad because the Seahawks could not get touchdowns. But the defense held up pretty well today, especially for the non-help that the offense gave them. The offense needs to get touchdowns. You can't win playoff games by kicking field goals. And Jason Myers, I like him. He's my favorite Seahawks kicker was Stephen Hauschka, but he's pretty reliable. I mean, he misses some. He misses some once in a while, but you can't rely on a kicker to win a game, and that's coming from a guy that kicked in high school. So you can't rely on a kicker to win you games. You got to get touchdowns. And I think one of the things that the Seahawks had going for them, especially early in the year, was they would score touchdowns, and they didn't rely on the huge plays to win games. They just marched down the field, and they scored reliably. But without that reliable scoring, you're not going to be able to win games, at least in my opinion. But I noticed one thing I must say on the defense. What a absolute hit by KJ Wright. That hit on Kyle Juszczyk on that cross route, that looked like Cam Chancellor in his prime coming across. You can just see it from the Super Bowl against Thomas from the Broncos, just absolutely flattening him. And I'm very happy they didn't call a penalty on that play. But that makes you, as a Seahawks fan, just come back to life on the defense. You're thinking, yes, this defense can come up and really hit them on that. Another problem that I saw with the defense was at the very end of the game. This is kind of a issue that Pete Carroll and the Seahawks have had for a while, was their prevent defense. I don't know the scheme they like to run. It seems like that's just a drop coverage with one or two zones in the middle with the linebackers. The problem is you miss one tackle and they're gone up the side. Because they're so spread out back, it just kind of shakes the entire defense, which, in my opinion, if you would run a softer prevent defense, I mean, yeah, they're going to get yards, but they're not going to get 20-yard gains, 15-yard gains, 35-yard gains down the field. And I think that the Seahawks would have made this a lot less, look a lot more convincing if they would have done that. Finally, the fourth quarter, the offense came to life, and thank goodness, because I thought we were not going to win this game. Obviously, you never want to doubt your team, but but on the way they were playing in the first 3 quarters, if they would have kept that up, it would not have been pretty. Russell Wilson just started hitting, and the one thing I must say, the offensive line at the end of the game ran block phenomenally for Chris Carson and Alex Collins, who made an incredible juke, which was very fun to watch. So yeah, that's what I've got on my notes, and I must say the eye test award, the one and only eye test award, goes to Michael Dixon. And yes, I'm biased. I was a punter kicker in high school. It was fun, but I gotta say, Michael Dixon, I think he is one of the best players on the Seahawks roster, and it is an absolute snub he did not make it into the Pro Bowl. He hit bomb after bomb, and he's putting them right on the sideline. You want to put it right there, so you have an extra sideline, extra defender in the sideline. You have all your guys pushing him that way, so he'll just run out of bounds. And the way he would kick the ball is absolutely perfect, at least in my opinion. Educated guess, I'm not a professional, just for fun, but yeah, he gets the eye test award, in my opinion. Another top performer, I think, is Alex Collins. I think he did great with what he was able to work with, and I think that he was able to work well with what he was given at the end of the game without wanting to get Chris Carson's hurt. Chris Carson, sorry. If you want to put Alex Collins in, he provides a great backup when Hyde and Penny and Carson aren't able to run. So I think that's a pretty, like almost like a hydra. You cut off one head, you got two more good backs in there. One of the problems I did see is I think it's Jaron Reed went out with an apparent injury in the third or beginning of the fourth quarter. That's a big deal. He's a good run stopper, and he really has those impact plays where he just need to get in there and sack a quarterback along with Carlos Dunlap, as well as I believe Jamal Adams has been dealing with a shoulder issue for most of the year. But he seemed to be banged up after he went in to try and sack Beathard on a left side blitz. But he got chip shot, not cheap shot, but chipped by a running back, and it looked like he aggravated his shoulder injury. But I think he'll be back. He kept his pads on. I think they were going to put him in if they needed him, but I'm optimistic about him. But I think that the Seahawks are contenders. I know that a lot of people don't. I know that if they play the way they did at the beginning of the game, they won't be contenders. But if you can get the end of the year defense with the beginning of the year offense, if they put it together in a complete game, I don't think the Jets games count. The Jets games is just a bye week with a win. So I think that the Seahawks are contenders. I hope they do too. If you think so, leave it in the comments. If you don't think so, leave it in the comments. Why not? And just see you 12 signing off. Peace out.